I was thinking about something like underneath the surface of a lot of people is rage, anger, and even for the people, like how you view rage, how you view anger could be multiple ways. Some people get violently with rage. Some people cry, right? And it's a rage cry. Some people shut the fuck down. Some people want to beat your ass. And when you look at the world, and like right now I'm driving in a car, and every person you see, the surface might be calm, but a little bit of probing, a little bit of inner ear melanin, you will see goddamn rage. And when you are adult, say for instance you're an adult and you get into a relationship, you could do one of two things. You could say, all right, we about to go buy a house, have kids, go on vacations, go half on this rent, so forth and so on. And that's a beautiful thing. Or you could get down to the nitty gritty and remove each other's rage, help each other alleviate shadow work. In a relationship, nobody really talks like this, but it's an opportunity to be each other's therapist. And like maybe, you know, because like I said, you could do one or two things, you know. You could just be fucking all the time and have like a porno thing. What do y'all do in relationships? I'm confused, right? Because when I talk about doing shadow work with my wife, it's like, you can do that? Like, why would I talk to my why would I talk to my wife? Why would I talk to my husband? That is so weird. Y'all be like actually getting to the root of y'all issues and getting deeper into your psyche through communication. That don't make no sense. I just take me and my man, we just go to the movies and go 50-50 on rent. Like, it'd be weird to me, but anyways, it's a real valuable opportunity to quell your rage. Because another aspect of the vacation, 50-50 on rent, go to a nice movie, go out, oh, we having a dinner date, dumb shit like that, stupid shit like that, as you at dinner eating dead animals covered with salt and sugar, that rage is still bubbling under you. That rage is right there. And the opportunity to just curl up, you know, curl up under a fireplace and talk. I know what shadow work ain't. Putting stress on people and not working out your shit. If you're in a relationship right now and your partner is making you feel a certain type of way that is negative, that is projection. Talking about adults, you don't owe that motherfucker a damn thing. I want y'all to look at Usher and Issa Rae dancing or performing or singing together. The way Issa Rae look at Usher, your girl, your significant other should be looking at you ear to ear, full teeth, all of that. But your partner might not give you that type of energy. You know why? Because your partner has not done shadow work. And since your partner has not done shadow work, your partner is projecting their bullshit on you. I do that to my partner. My partner does that to me. I'm not acting like I'm not judging. I'm saying to look at it, this is what I say. You can be in a relationship and y'all pay bills together. Wonderful thing. Or you can be in a relationship where y'all doing therapy. Therapy is like, I'm not going to judge you for being fucked up. How could I judge you for being fucked up when I'm fucked up? I'm sitting here talking. Wrong way. I'm gonna hit a dead end. But this is good. Think about it. You go out on first dates. It's all about how much money he have, how she look, how she treat me, all of this. And now you think that you smart, right? You think you can gauge your emotions in relationships, right? So you're going to predicate on how the relationship is or isn't. He's a great guy, he's a bad guy, he's a fat guy, he's a skinny guy, so forth and so on. But it's going to be something wrong with your mathematics, inevitably. The shadow is going to come up. Why do you think people go 10, 15 years and get divorces? Why do you think people go all of this time and get divorces? Because if you do not become a therapist, it's only so much I can pay your rent, ho. It's only so much rent a nigga can pay for a motherfucker going to be having to say, well, here are my shadows. Here is my communication. Here is my deepest thoughts. Here are my thoughts that go beyond the boundaries of what you can handle. Here it is, a groove slightly transformed. Just a little break from the norm. Bitch, what? What you gonna do? Oh, I'm filing a divorce. You is not the person that I married. Yes, I am. You didn't want to see. You didn't ever want to be my therapist. You wanted me to provide rent payments. And I did that. And I do that. But I've been listening to the Hood Mystic, and he said that everyone has a shadow. Even me, the rent payer. Even me, the greatest of all time spiritualists who have been on every platform saying this, that, and the third. Even I have a shadow. I have some shit within me that you can't handle. Not from this lifetime, but since my existence, when I was a goddamn Scandinavian warrior. It was running around in fucking icicles with goddamn chugging ice blocks at niggas. You know what I'm saying? Swimming in waterfalls. Got some shit that you can't handle. We all do. The problem is when you can't express that with your significant other. Class. When you got rage that you can't express with your significant other, that's rage. That's rage on top of rage on top of rage. And when rage get on top of rage on top of rage, this is the world that we living in. And everybody's still trying to show up like everything is normal. How is it normal? Explain to me how it is normal to have a spiritual awakening, to have dreams, journals, and realizations. You motherfuckers done got trains ran on you. You would have had threesomes, all types of weird shit. But then when you get into your relationship, you've now repented and found God. No, you still the same deviant that you've been. The only problem is you have to siphon up that rage, and that shit's gonna drive you crazy. We are tribal, unique expressions of spirit. Trying to contain all of that into a human vessel is hard enough. Trying to contain that into a relationship is impossible. It'll never work. It could never work. Woo. They out here today. It's like putting a lion in a zoo. A lion in a zoo. When you recognize that you are way much more than you give yourself credit for, and then you can't fully express it. Now, trust me. Now, let me give the caveat for everybody who have advanced to the greatness of all life. If in your relationship, you can be your authentic self and vice versa, this is shadow work. And if you don't need to do shadow work, then fine. But you should be putting us up on some game. It's a sin. The greatest sin of all is to not share knowledge. I made that shit up. That's how I live, though. I feel like something is wrong. The worst thing in the world. I don't even have to eat. But if I can't share knowledge, then strike, like, something wrong. I don't even, like, as long as I'm alive, I want to be able to share knowledge. Anyways, shadow work, relationships, being able to be so clear in your relationships that you're not judged. I know that a nigga can come into your life and do what needs to be done. You know why dudes do what needs to be done? Because they want some pussy to call their own. Okay? That's the get down. They want their own pussy. They want to lock it down. They don't want nobody else hitting that ass but them. Okay? You give that to a man? Great. What's the next step? Recognizing that man's nature. You can recognize a man's nature and be in a good place. Or you cannot recognize a man's nature and then a man becomes a man. A man does what a man does, whatever that is. And now you enraged. And it be the cutest girls. It be the most nicest people. And understand, you don't have to be busting out tires to be enraged. You know what rage look like? Leaving a situation. That's rage. So empowered, so viscerated that you just pack up all of your shit and leave. You got bills coming there. You got all types of shit. All right, give me 30 days to switch my fucking address over. You don't even know where the fuck you going. What happened? A man did some man shit and you got enraged. Why? Because you didn't do shadow work. Why? Because you thought being with a man was rent payments on time. You thought being with a man was having his beard cut. You thought being with a man was everything you wanted to be with a man was, and vice versa. But the moment your girl say, you know what? Let's have a threesome with James. Dun, dun, dun. Now here comes all of your fucking rage. The problem, the difference between man rage and woman rage, man rage is go to jail for life. Woman rage is kind of sexy. That's how fucked up we are. That's probably how fucked up I am. But I do all of this work because I can't afford to be enraged. I went to prison before, not because I was raged, because I was stupid. But I seen a lot of men waste their whole entire lives. I was OSP, Supermax. And I was a porter at the Supermax. So when I would go to the Supermax and talk to the dudes out there who was going to be in the Supermax for the rest of their lives, the rest of their natural lives, ain't no way them niggas is getting out of jail, all because of rage. And I'm sure wasn't nobody in their relationships trying to be their therapist. So at a certain point, it's kind of funny, Kyrie, ha ha ha. But at a certain point, having a therapist in your life can save your life, because now you have the opportunity to what? Be whole, be human. Y'all want men, now flip it back to men, because people gonna say what they say and feel how they will. Y'all want men to be half of wholeness. Y'all want men to be picture perfect. And the times that is not picture perfect, rage. And when I'm trying to present an alternative to said rage, shadow work. Learning, like, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of trips. Because back to me, when me and my wife have conversations, I am who I am, so I'm going to trigger. And I don't know how to talk in a way that, okay, this is what she like and this is what she need. I can only speak from my truth. And sometimes my truth is triggering. I don't want to trigger. So in the space of maybe your relationship is different, but when you love somebody, you just got to try again. You got to try again. And you got to let her know, or let him know, that you're not trying to attack him or her. You're trying to speak from a truthful place of how you are whole. This represents how I am whole. I'm not a perfect being. That's all good. I got fucked up shit with me. So would y'all understand how communicating that would be more healthy than just saying, well, if you do this, if you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I'ma fuck with you. Cause 10 times out of 10, you might find that. You might find that. What's the problem? It's gonna be some shit with him or her all the time. All the time. Rage comes from so many different places. We are so ignorant of ourselves, of our spiritual beingness. So what I'm saying is, having multiple conversations, really getting into the shadow work, getting deep within your relationships is most important, because it's girls that I know that ain't nothing but halfway decent looking and won't give a shit about nothing you got going on. If it benefits them, cool. If it's beneficial, great. But if you start talking about you and what you want and what you need and all that shit, you ain't gonna get nothing. And people will just walk and just be just waiting for this like magical fairy tale. And it's like, all right, when you do meet this person, what do you think his backstory is going to be? Like, is he just going to just come up off of a cloud? Or is he going to have traumas? Is he going to have times where he was let down? Is he going to have times where the support that he needed, he didn't have, so he had to overcompensate? It could be a whole slew of things. Was he molested by his uncle? Was he tripped when he was walking to school and everybody pointed at him and laughed at him? Like, what shadows is this man coming with, and how do you deal with them? Even better, this might be even deeper. Maybe y'all don't like this, but what shadows are you coming with? Or are you coming into this bitch looking halfway decent and having no rage? That if a man starts doing certain things and triggers your rage, you're just going to either leave, fight or flight, right? Beat his ass or just leave. And you're going to normalize that. This is why shadow work is important. I was just thinking how the utterance of truth is only going to trigger rage. And this is why pimps and hoes have the best relationships, because you don't gotta lie about shit, really. You having sex with all types of dudes. So, and you having sex with all types of dudes, it don't make me want to leave you. Most women feel like their sexual truth is a deal breaker. So they can't communicate in sexual truth. So they try to give up a facade of virginity when we all know that that's not true. So even if a man expects it, even if a man requires it, desires it, you just not able to give him that. So I think that if the first date, y'all can be honest, so deeply honest that y'all build a connection on honesty and not being judgmental, then men and women have the opportunity to heal. Or you could pay $400 an hour to have somebody who don't know what it's like to be a melanated person in America, where these people have came into our land, set up a government, and enslaved us, and then took our history away, and now we got to go to their fucking systems to get some psychological help. That don't never read to me. If you ever knew who you was and look at this country and look how it's set up, an alien invader have came into your land and set up a whole entire system that you got to cope with. And then when you get into your relationships, you're not able to even heal because you're being judged and compared to the alien invader. And then when I try to get psychological help, you telling me shit that you read about in your college course. But do you know what it feels like to be separated from your whole entire history and be fed lies? You got Atlanteans thinking that they Africans. It's interesting. But I finally got to work. I just wanted to share in reference to if anybody has rage or anger and they try to normalize it, don't go on dates, because you might meet somebody that is really good for you and that really loves you and is really ready to take you seriously. But if he starts to say things in reference to him being a man, what is a man in general? A man is polygamous. Generally, if you don't like that, you don't like men. What am I saying? Men want to be attractive to a lot of women. Because the reason why men want to be attractive to a lot of women is because that's how you get a woman. Does that make sense, or is that crazy? And you can't just say, well, I'm attractive. I found the woman that I want, so let me stop being attractive. So if you ever find a man that don't want to be attractive, then you're not even going to like him. That's one. Two, men like to explore. Men like to discover. Men like to be free. Men in general. But it's usually this vision and this mindset of how men should be that we attempt to aspire to. So when you do, my idea of a beta man is a man who have got the life knocked out of him. He don't want to, he just cool with dying. And usually that's where you get these niggas posing with their bitch and doing everything that they girl want to do. And y'all look at that like, oh, I want a relationship like that. But then you want a brain dead ass nigga. Most men don't want to do none of the shit that you want to do. Ever. A lot of times, y'all need girlfriends and friends and homegirls to do that shit with. If y'all want to do it. And have like a girls trip. But men and women, it's two different types of ways and two different types of being. When you find your partner, when you find love, it's because God told you. God spoke to you and said, this is your wife. That's it. That's it. God tells a man who his wife is. That's it. Y'all don't gotta have nothing in common. Y'all don't gotta like each other. Nothing. Y'all don't, like, when God ordains a man and wife to be together, this is why arranged marriages is more successful than dating. Because God is much more important than our conscious awareness and our ability to analyze and judge a situation. And then every time we think that we judging and analyzing a situation correctly, we never factoring in this motherfucker has a shadow. This person has untapped rage. The moment that I start expressing my truth, I'm gonna hit that rage. So then you in the middle of a emotional storm or a violent situation, and that would make you just not want to be in relationships at all. Me personally, if I didn't know that you could conjure honesty, if I, like, before shadow work or before consciousness and before my mind was open, I thought that a bitch could properly assess me. So I had to have this, I have to have this, I have to have that, I have to have that, I have to have this for a girl to like me. So that puts you in a fucked up position, because even if you have this, that, and that, if God don't ordain a relationship to work, it's never going to work. I've been in godless relationships before, and they don't work. They don't work. It's no way. If a man don't show up for you every single day and sleep in your bed and make sure that you wake up next to him, God is not speaking to him about you. He's fucking you. One, if that makes sense. Two, if that sound crazy, because I feel like I sound crazy. Let me get to work. I got a lot of work to do. Is that crazy? Oh yeah, I had all types of hoes when I was broke. I had hoes, I had bitches. The moment I got some money, phone got drier than a motherfucker. I don't know why that is. When you a good man and you ready to provide and ready to support, bitches do not want to fuck with you no more. I don't know why. It's like we are repellent to, like, it's just weird. When I was a no good ass nigga, I could slip and slide in some of the finest. It was just amazing. It's just like I think back, and I'm not that person I was before. I'm not. But I don't know. I guess maturity. It's just weird how easy we can crash out when we young. And I feel like we are not as resilient as we fucking think. I feel like that does serious fucking damage when it comes to a point where your ass 30, 35, 40 and can't even hold your own in an honest conversation. So once again, two types of relationships. Pay the rent every month, do what you're supposed to do, everything is fine. The relationship that I'm talking about is a relationship where two people do shadow work, and they can get deep, 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 deep. Because a lot of y'all could just listen to everything extravagant, and when it comes to your intimate relationships, is pay the rent every month. I done talk to people. I done talk to spiritual beings, and this is how they treat they nigga. They don't love they man at all. I've talked to plenty of spiritual hoes that only view they man as a source or a resource. It's not like he pays the bills and he provides. Is he in pain? I don't give a fuck. What you mean? What are you talking about? Is he in pain? Am I in pain? Cause shit, I had to wash dishes the other day, hood. That shit was crazy. So let me get up off of this thing. Let me get to work, and